What if the secret to building a global empire was to be, well, completely inauthentic? Today, we're diving into the absolutely wild history of Taco Bell, a brand that became a fast food giant by pretty much doing everything the wrong way.
This was the actual reaction when Taco Bell tried to sell its so-called Mexican food in Mexico. It failed spectacularly, not just once, but twice, which really makes you wonder.
To get how it got so huge, you have to go all the way back to the beginning. Because before the very first taco was ever sold, its founder had to go head-to-head with the golden arches of McDonald's. Okay, so at its core, Taco Bell's entire concept is built on this brilliant, fundamental lie. It's not about making a real taco, it's about completely reinventing it for a new audience. See, the founder, Glenn Bell, he didn't just sell tacos, he totally re-engineered them. He swapped out soft corn tortillas for those preformed hard shells. He replaced fresh, varied fillings with seasoned ground beef. And traditional, complex salsas? Nope. He used a simple American chili sauce. Every single change was designed to do one thing and one thing only: make it fast. And the reason he was so obsessed with speed and innovation is that the story of Taco Bell doesn't start with a love for tacos. It actually starts with a hamburger stand and a very famous rival right next door. Bell saw he just could not out-burger the mighty McDonald's. So he made this crucial choice. If you can't beat them, don't even try to join them. Create a whole new game. So yeah, Taco Bell wasn't born from a passion for Mexican food. It was born from the failure of a hamburger stand. He had this huge problem, though. Most Americans back then had no idea what a taco even was. So he had to make the unfamiliar feel, safe. The crispy shell felt like a potato chip, and the chili sauce tasted like something you'd put on a hot dog. It was basically a Trojan horse of flavor. It looked Mexican on the outside, but it was all American on the inside. So fast forward to the late 70s. Taco Bell's strategy is working like a charm. It has hundreds of locations, and it catches the eye of a beverage giant that was getting desperate for an edge in the infamous Cola Wars. PepsiCo's logic here was brutally simple. If all the big restaurants are serving Coke and they won't sell our soda, fine, we'll just buy our own restaurants and force them to. This simple move is why, for decades, you could only get Pepsi at these huge chains. And right here is where the story goes from just interesting business history to completely unbelievable, involving the actual collapse of the Soviet Union. You heard that right. When the Soviet ruble basically became worthless overnight, Russia had to get creative to pay for its massive Pepsi addiction. So they offered the only thing of value they had left: their navy. And Pepsi said yes. For one brief, absolutely surreal moment in history, this deal made PepsiCo, the company that makes soda and snacks, the owner of the 6th largest navy in the entire world. They were more powerful than Australia. Of course, Pepsi had no plans to take over the world. They had no use for 17 submarines and a cruiser. It wasn't about becoming a military power. It was just the most bizarre and creative way to collect a debt in history. The entire fleet was immediately sold off for scrap metal. Now, fueled by all this Pepsi cash and a bold new attitude, Taco Bell launched some of the most audacious, hilarious, and memorable marketing campaigns ever. They were basically master trolls. Just take their Mir space station stunt. They floated a massive target out in the Pacific Ocean and promised free tacos to every single person in America if a piece of falling space debris hit it. The odds were astronomical, of course, but the payoff was huge. For almost no cost, they got the entire country talking about Taco Bell. And then came their legendary April Fool's Day prank. They took out full-page ads in major newspapers announcing that they had purchased the Liberty Bell to help with the national debt. People actually panicked. The National Park Service had to hold a press conference to tell everyone it wasn't true. It was pure marketing chaos, and it was absolutely brilliant. But maybe their most elegant move was the Taco Moon campaign. They simply pointed out that the crescent moon kind of looks like a taco, and just like that, they created a free, permanent advertisement in the night sky. Now every month, nature itself is telling you to go buy a taco. And this spirit of innovation is still alive and well today. The brand still thrives by engineering these clever solutions to problems you probably didn't even know you had. Think about this. It's a simple, deeply relatable frustration, right? How do you make a taco something you can actually eat on the go? That one little problem became the driving force behind one of their biggest modern hits. The solution was the Crunchwrap Supreme. which is honestly a masterpiece of food engineering. The whole goal was to pack all the flavor and texture of a taco and a tostada into this mess-free hexagonal package you could eat with one hand. So how long do you think it took to perfect this thing? A year? 2? Get this, it took them 13 years. The company's innovation lab spent over a decade researching and developing the perfect non-spill design. That is an insane amount of effort for one fast food item. And all of this adds up to a very specific identity. Taco Bell has carved out its own unique space. It's not authentic Mexican food, and it doesn't even pretend to be anymore. It is proudly, and very loudly, just Taco Bell. The truly unlikely story of Taco Bell proves that sometimes success isn't about being authentic, it's about being inventive. It's a wild reminder that a failed hamburger stand can become a global giant, a soda company can own a navy, and a taco doesn't have to be real to be loved by millions. Which kind of leaves you with one last question. In our world today, what does authenticity even mean anymore?